Now, the internet is a very good place. It's done a lot for the world as we know it. But we can't ignore the fact that it's slowly becoming one of the most negative part of regular life. The depressive internet theory goes with the first rule, which is the importance of negative content. Now, negative content or depressive content is a huge part of how the internet grows because it works with our psychology. A lot of us want to click on things, want to view things, and want to be entertained by things that are quote unquote negative. We love to gossip about other people, and usually things that are worth gossiping about are negative things or depressive things, bro. If you want the tea, it's usually gonna be presented in a negative way. You have commentators, commentary YouTube channels talking about people just living their life. Everyone that is famous right now have a commentary YouTuber saying something dumb about them. If you take your time to research why Will Smith is a terrible person, you are gonna get a lot of people watching that video and you're gonna entertain a lot of people. Once you can form negativity, you can get people to want to learn about things that are bad, you start to form the narrative about life as a whole. You start to form a narrative about everything that goes on in everyone's life, right? Let's take an example of the work situation, the job market right now. The way the internet is formed, right, is to make people soak in the negativity, is to make people accept the negative as the norm, because nobody wants to talk about the positives of the job market right now. Nobody will sit there and talk about the good side of anything because the creator and the content that people want don't incentivize those kind of viewpoints. People are incentivized to produce negative narratives about things. That's why you always get the negative narrative about things. If you're someone that is struggling to get a job right now, you just graduated from college, you just came out of high school, you're someone who just lost their job, who just got laid off, all of these things are happening in your life, right? You want someone to tell you that, hey, it's okay, you can move on, you can find another job. But you won't see that on the internet. The internet job is to make you more depressed. You will have YouTubers, TikTokers come out and sell you this narrative that the job market is bad, and because you're losing your job and you're not in the place that you should be, it's not your fault, all right? It's the job market. The way to improve and go anywhere in life is to not be like everybody else. Just because people are saying the job market is cooked, it don't mean that you should just sit there and accept that narrative. You got to understand that this is a part of content. You got to understand this is the part of how the internet, this is the part of how the attention economy works. Once you can find something and say negative things about it, people are intrigued by it. People are curious about the negatives of things, and it somehow makes them feel better. You got to be honest. If you see someone saying the job market is cooked and it's not your fault, it takes the responsibility off of you. This leads me on to another problem, which is the economy. People now will sit on the internet all day, watch YouTube videos about people who are trying to get clicks about the economy, right? Even though the economy is never perfect, it's never been perfect, it's gonna go down, it's gonna go up. But the more we're on the internet, the more the internet becomes a huge part of our life, we're always gonna see the negative in everything. We're always gonna see the world as a thing that is made to harm us, right? I'm a victim to this, you're a victim to this as well. The fact that we're not on cable anymore to get news sort of works against us but also works for us, is a double-edged sword. Now that we have the freedom to watch a lot of different perspectives, we're also sort of put in boxes and controlled by the corporations that give these voices platforms. We're controlled by the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm is the most powerful shaper of minds in this world. It controls what content gets put out. So it controls what people hear, what people consume, how people think and process information. This is gonna be one of the biggest parts of the history books in 100 years. I'm not even playing, bro. From the economy, we move on to dating, right? Dating now has become a thing full of drama on the internet. You have so-called dating expert. Like, who is an expert in dating? Like, that is the most oxymoronic thing I've heard in my life. If you've dated a lot of people, you're probably not an expert on dating. You're the least expert on dating, because the fact that you've had a lot means that you are not good at keeping. Like, guys, I know there are obviously counters to that. You can say, oh, you've grown in a certain way by going more outside than, you know, staying with one person. But everybody have their own narrative, their own perspective of what success is in dating. So the fact that you have gurus, the fact that you have red pillars, the fact that you have anti-red pillars, all these things just go to prove my point that people want to divide and bring in negativity and then make you depressed. They will tell you that what you're doing is wrong and you have to follow their method and go and buy their course. Or they would tell you what the other person is doing is wrong and you have to watch their video. It's all there to make you depressed. And the more depressed you are, the more time you have with yourself to go and consume more content. The more insecurity these people impose on you, the more these people make you think that you are less than and you have to learn more and improve more and do more, the more they get you to sit on these platforms more. You feel me? Like, it is a cycle. The way we are forced to be in this rat race of the 9 to 5, which I'm experiencing right now, is the same way how we're forced in this cycle of the social media age. We think that we have autonomy over the information that we consume, but we really don't. Everything that we watch on a given day is processed and given to us by someone who understood their algorithm, whether it be TikTok or YouTube, and pushed that through that algorithm for it to get to you. And that algorithm has to discriminate so many content to find the one for you. And that one that is found for you is not just one, it's millions of videos that you've consumed. So it's built your narrative of everything that you think is everything. Most people get their news from Instagram and TikTok and YouTube nowadays. People, like, you don't know how powerful these things are, and you don't know how much of an impact they're having on our emotional health, on our physical health, on our decision making, on the quality of our life as a whole. People are oblivious to this. And that's why when I'm talking about this depressive internet theory, right, it's very hard to elaborate or articulate. There's really no solution here. All I can ask for you, all the takeaway can be from this video is the awareness of what's going on. Being aware can solve a lot of problems. So I don't know how your awareness is going to impact your life, but just know that this is how the content and attention economy works.